As we conclude our ideas about functions, recall that there are 4 different ways to talk about functions. There's the numerical, the graphical, the verbal, and the algebraic. And so here's just an example of 4 different scenarios in which we could indicate a situation that is function. So here we have the number of weeks on a strict diet and the amount of weight Sarah is. And notice that all these input values are not repeating, and we have specific output values for each input. In our graphical representation, we can use the vertical line test such that if a vertical line passes through the graph and does not touch the graph more than once, so in other words there's not 2 or more spots, then the graph is a function. So that satisfies. In a verbal, remember we're looking for the words is a function of, and so now we have the input is the points earned and the output is the grade, so every amount of points has a specific grade that would be associated with. And lastly was the algebraic. And algebraic can be just some sort of symbolic rule. So we have just y equals 3 times the absolute value of x plus 2 minus 1. And we can always, if we know that this is a function, we just simply write it in function notation where f is now the output and x is our input variable. On page 4 of the notes, you'll see that now we have a situation where there's one scenario represented in all 4 ways. So if we go back to this idea of the strict diet, again we have the input values of the number of weeks and the output values of the amount of weight. We can graph these ordered pairs in such a way that shows this, and since it might be stated that Sarah is also losing weight in between each one of these points, we could connect these. We don't always know that, but in this case this is indicating that there is some sort of weight loss in between each one of these weeks. And then we can write a function notation, so 250 minus 2n equals the weight that's being lost. And since this, again, is covariation representing a relationship between the number of weeks and the weight loss, or actually the weight that she is in pounds. And so for whatever week we want to put in, we can find out what weight Sarah is. And then lastly, we can write the verbal description of what's happening. So Sarah's weight is a function of the number of weeks that she is on her diet. We don't have to have any other indication of what type of numerical values this is. We're just simply stating whatever is happening as Sarah's weight, which is the output, is a function of, which is our indicator of what's going to happen next, is our input, is the number of weeks that she is on her diet.